Takhisis, otherwise known as Tiamat, the Dragon Queen. That's it. Good night, folks. Thanks for watching. No. I'm joking. Well, kind of. Takhisis depicted in the Dragonlance books is Tiamat, or more that plane's avatar of Tiamat. Tiamat is the queen of evil dragons. She is depicted as a colossal 5-headed dragon, each head a different colour of the chromatic dragons: blue, green, red, white, and black, though she has been known to use grey, brown, or yellow dragon heads. Again, what you see in the monster manual is not all that there is out there, though I have no clue what type of element those coloured dragons would be tied to. Tiamat also has a wyvern tail, and her body is striped with the colours of the dragon heads, despite often being depicted as a red dragon with different coloured heads. I believe this is something that came out of the D&D cartoon for ease of artistry. Also, since she is quite large, like friggin' massive, her wings are kind of for show, and she flies through magical means, though she does use them for wing attacks. Now, I normally stick to the monster manual, but Tiamat is not mentioned in it in any great capacity, or at all, frankly, so to give you any detail about her, we're going to have to go off book for this one. Tiamat is the main focus of 2 Forgotten Realms 5th edition modules, Hoard of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat, and it's expected that the Shadow of the Dragon Queen Dragonlance publication is expected to focus around Takhisis, Tiamat, in some way. So who is Tiamat, or Takhisis? Well, in the beginning there was one of the first gods, a great dragon known as Asgarath, or Io. Asgarath is known as the creator of the multiverse, and of dragonkind. It's said that Asgarath found a great star, wrapped themselves around it, and used their breath weapon upon it. The star shattered, pieces pierced Asgarath, and the drops of blood that fell to the earth became red dragons. There is another tale where Asgarath divides themselves into 2 to better embody the aspects that make them great. But this went wrong, creating chromatic evil and metallic good dragons. And the first of those dragons were Tiamat and her brother Bahamut. There's more to that, where Asgarath wanted 2 dragon gods to get jiggy and create the perfect dragon race, but that's weird and we can talk about that some other time. Or better yet, you can check out Jordan's video in the card here. Tiamat was born a dragon god, embodying every aspect of evil. She is greedy, arrogant, hateful, and boy does she hold a grudge, never letting any slight go unpunished. She is wholly dedicated to obtaining more power and wealth, and loathes the existence of any other being. Tiamat is usually depicted as I described in the beginning, but she does have different avatars, such as the Dark Lady, a woman with long dark and completely black eyes, like the demons from Supernatural. She is dressed in black robes and had a coy, seductive smile on her face. Another form she kept was her guardian avatar. She at one point was imprisoned in the 9 hells at the will of its ruler, Asmodeus, becoming the guardian to the lower levels from the first layer, Avernus. Though there are conflicting stories that say she struck a deal with old Asmodeus to gain more power after the Dragonfall Wars, where she was stripped of her godhood. The guardian role draws an interesting similarity to Cerberus, the 3-headed guardian of hell in Greek mythology, that also had a poisonous serpent tail. It was here in Avernus she held a stronghold of her own design, hoarded treasure, spawned Abishai, which are demon-dragon hybrid warriors that fought in the Blood Wars under the great demon generals. Oh, and she also kept ancient worm consorts of the 5 prime chromatic colours, where she would then eat her own offspring to further empower herself through secret rituals she created. She's not very nice. The last avatar I want to talk about here is her undying queen form. Which, how metal does that sound? This form is of her, the chromatic dragon, that being her 5-headed form, but undead. A 5-headed Dracolich. That is terrifying, though no more powerful than she already is. The undying form, or undead form, would just be the stuff of nightmares. Give me a wisdom save against that big bad fear effect. Now, with these big bad effects of her eminence out of the way, let's look at what could bring her back to Krynn in the new Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen book. Well, for a start, she never left. The last update we had from Dragonlance in regards to Takhisis is that she was killed by Paladine. Paladine being Bahamut, but in Krynn. By sacrificing his own immortality to take hers, he killed her. Which is kind of appropriate that this section of the Krynn history is known as the Age of Mortals. But gods being gods, they don't stay dead long, and since Takhisis has a history of stealing Krynn and moving it to another time and space absent of gods, it's likely she's been plotting a revenge for these past years, and we're going to have to fight her, or fight back her forces. See, that's the thing. The latest entry we have is the Dungeons&Dragons 3.5 edition Dragonlance campaign setting book. That came out in August 2003, almost 20 years ago, so likely Kryn has changed, or she has changed, and this is prime time for Takhisis to take hold of the whole damn thing. I know advanced copies have been issued, but I'm not a big enough creator to get my hands on one of those, so I can't say for certain. And this is a very basic and broad history of it, but I don't want to go into it and spoil it too much. See, Dragonlance is regarded as one of the greatest settings in Dungeons & Dragons history, and if you want to find out more, you gotta grab your dice, get your players, sit down with the new book, or hop into the old. I used a lot of sources for this one, and I have linked as many as I could below. There are tons of material on Tiamat, and she is one of the greatest villains. Didn't want to go too far into detail as there is so much and it is easy to get bogged down, especially when there are other amazing creators out there who have done such great work on the topic before me. As for using Tiamat as a plot, doesn't even need to be Tiamat at the core of your campaign. It can be her followers. You could use arguably the most famous servant of Tiamat, Joe Manganiello's Archon the Cruel.
Man, why is Tiamat so interesting to me? I have to give a lot of credit to Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. To me, Tiamat is, it's another realm's way of understanding the goddess Tiamat, this ancient goddess. Takhisis and Tiamat. It's just, to me, those were two cultures that were describing the same thing.
The modules Rise of Tiamat and Horde of the Dragon Queen are incredible storylines that can take your players from level 1 up to 15. WotC have even written in a way to have your players come straight out of Lost Mines of Phandelver and into the Horde of the Dragon Queen. Heck, the Adventurers League utilize the Cult of the Dragons for a ton of quests, and who says you can't take inspiration from there too? Right, I won't keep you, but I would appreciate a like if you enjoyed this, a subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and if I messed something up, please do comment below and let me know. Right, check out this video on goblinoids. Did you know that there are 3 of them? Well, thanks for watching.